Hi everybody. Here's hoping the streaming's working. Someone can let me know, that would be lovely. Because oh, there I am. Hi everybody. Welcome to Mirror Grimdark Buddies, where we are still trying to find our way back to our own universe. And I've just got a new bit of tech to help me keep an eye on things, but who knows if we'll set that up in time. Hello Tony, hello Aztec. Aztec, you're early. Hello Robbie. Hi Alex. Second security guard t-shirts only available in red could be Mirror Manga merch. I mean, why not? Why not rip off another franchise? All mean green, says Robbie. Gary, hello there. Hi Gary. Aloha Caprice. How are things out there in Hawaii, Caprice? Having fun? I'm just trying to see how we can get Will Wheaton in the background. There we go. That's correct. Apologies for missing last week. I was in Iceland for a very geeky convention. You can't just leave us hanging like that. Tell us more. Tell us exactly what you mean. So, there are so many greens here today. Absolutely. So thank you so much to everybody who kind of bought Mirror Manga memberships last week. That was incredibly generous. And yeah, some really great adminning last week as well. So thank you to all my admins. I can see Sean and Will are here in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. And you never know if Historita Jamaldus will show up or not. So we'll keep an eye out for him. Sean the Unsleeping is here. Yeah, Sean, what time is it there, mate? Good day. Eve Online Fan Fest. Deadly serious internet spaceship business. Holy moly, Caprice. Robbie, I've been watching a fella get a swarm of bees out of a tree using a travel Henry Hoover and one of my old fishing poles. Did you film it? Can we see pictures? Capri says, a picture of me made it onto the big screen, and afterwards someone came up to ask about my Raven Guard tattoos. Very satisfying. We have had the best Raven Guard journey. I caught up with Gav Thorpe this weekend, which was amazing. Sean, it's 5 a.m. Thank you so much for being here. You are a god, a golden god for hanging out with us. Thank you. There are 17 people here in the chat today. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Neil, welcome. Hi, Neil. How you doing? Robbie has got photos of the swarm of bees being taken out of a tree using a travel Henry Hoover and fishing poles. So very excited to see that. Good evening, Simon. Lovely to see you. If you're new to this Sunday night stream, the hysteria of it is that it started because some of us get Sunday night scaries. So it is a anxiety easer. And we started playing Fighting Fantasy. So I got to interview Sir Ian Livingstone, and we're all fans of the game books from our past. So welcome, everybody. And yeah, we will go on a journey. We do have our usual business. First item on the agenda, as always, fire safety. And we have Officer Pugh ready as ever. His gauge is still good. We are still in talks about whether we're going to get a non-powder, less messy, a less messy substance with which to extinguish fires. Also, if anyone would like to scan the QR code, you could buy me more fire extinguishers. Actually, really, honestly, don't do that. That was a complete joke. Although my friend Maria, who is staying with me and has made me a whole complete Sunday roast, was telling me about Amazon wish lists and stuff like that. And as you all know, I'm already quite greedy. Should we be talking about Amazon wish lists? Answers on a postcard. Okay. The full roast, very nice, says Caprice. I know, and she taught me how to do it. So I'm going to have to make myself one next time. Celeb birthday, Sabrina Carpenter. Neil, that's the one Maria suggested, and I said my crowd isn't a Sabrina Carpenter crowd. So without further ado, let's say happy birthday to my pick, John Parrott, legendary snooker player. Snooker, loopy, nuts are we, etc., etc. Happy birthday. I'm just testing to see if I still get my, what are they called? Effects. I think we still get, are we out of effects now? No effects today. How will we do it without anything? So that's the celebrity birthday. Also, let's get some fire going. We have a red candle made by my buddy Abby. You can see where she put the wicks in. No Effects starts playing. Why are we talking about No Effects? They used to be one of my favourite bands when I was little. I became friends with Eric Melvin. Not really friends. I was friends with Bad Religion, so was friend adjacent. So that was my misspent youth. Punk mode. So here we go. We've got our little candle on the go for some Sunday serenity. And yeah, it's been a hell of a week, but we've survived it. Casual name drops from Mira. It wasn't that casual, that was mega forced. I was like, someone's written about NoFX, I can show off. Hooray! So I used to have the amazing, one of the best tour books ever, NoFX. It's somewhere in these shelves, but I have no idea where. Yeah, sorry kids. Feeling the calm, says Gary. Tony, red shirt in the top left pocket then, snooker and Star Trek in one joke. Very good, I like it, I like it. Okay, well, I suppose best live music act you've seen. What a question. How about you lot? Hello, David Gibb. David says, I'm late. Who's tried the new Unicorn Tears flavour of Iron Brew? Not me, but now I want to. I didn't even know that existed. Actually, me and Maria have got some carrot cake for later. Don't think that would go with Iron Brew. Kodo Taiko, says Caprice. The drums are so amazing live. Bad manners, says Tony. Oof. Yep, some of us are showing our age, aren't we, with our picks? Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hello, Mark. Thank you, as always, for being so completely polite. You are so welcome. Is anybody going to Games Expo this year? Because I'm going to be on the Trench Crusade stand. And I'm officially not allowed to wear any silly hats. Although I have got my Finnish Mountaineer wartime hat, which I'm sure I can wear. Will says, I saw Stephen Hawking give a talk. That's the closest I've got to a concert. Very good. Neil says, bust a blood vessel. Robbie says, oh, Historisha Jamaldis says, fight the Concords, so is Spinal Tap. I've seen Spinal Tap live. Yeah, annoyingly, you cannot add Stonehenge by Spinal Tap to any Instagram videos. It's a travesty. Trench Crusade cosplay artillery witch. Maybe if someone makes me the costume. Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Yay, Neil Adams. Thank you so, so much, everybody. Neil has gifted 5 Mirror Manga YouTube memberships. Welcome, Adam Jones, Mackerel, like the fish, Tabe 8, actually named Magnus. Magnus, why did you do it? You could have just left Dad alone. And Gabriel Caseda, congratulations on your Mirror Manga YouTube membership. We do not have our normal effects, so let us have a dangerous red flame of gratitude for Neil's gift of Mirror Manga Grimdark Buddies YouTube memberships. Whew. Owie wowie. Owie wowie. I got burned. Holy moly. Thank you so much, Neil. What a gift. Thank you so much, everybody. Much appreciated. I think I only really enjoy bands if I can watch from the side of the stage because I'm at that age. I was lucky enough. I have to do a little secret thing with this hat because my head's ridiculously small, so I put a sock up the front. a technique, a timeless technique, kind of. Anyway, you get the idea. It's a little bit Imperial Stormtrooper, isn't it? It's not a great feeling hat to wear. Best live act, either Jean-Michel Jarre, what? That must have been amazing. Or Godspeed You Black Emperor. Yes, Neil, you are a legend. Or Iron Maiden. My friend went to Bruce Dickinson's house. No, my friend Kevin was talking to Bruce Dickinson. No, sorry, let me start this story again. Mira's Iron Maiden story. My friend Kevin Baxter was talking to somebody who had been to Bruce Dickinson's house. And my friend Kevin was a real metalhead. He loved Iron Maiden. He went, oh my God, please tell me he lives in a castle or something. And you had to come in across a moat and there's a portcullis. And the guy went, no, it was like a house in Chiswick. But he did have a Dalek in the hallway. And my friend Kevin was absolutely disgusted, destroyed. Capri said, saw Henge recently, fun, silly sci-fi band who sing about tardigrades and such. And I got a seat behind the lighting guys. Robbie has posted the bees man in the Discord. Can I share the screen with all of you so we can look at Robbie's bees and the Hoover? Let's have a look. Oh my God, we can! Robbie, this is amazing work. Now I'm taking a chance with Robbie. We're going to share this sight unseen. So I should say, if we see anything alarming, that's on Robbie. Right. Can you all see? Can you see my screen? Okay. So here we go. Here is the swarm. Quite the swarm there, Robbie. And there we go. That is Robbie's fishing pole. And a portable Henry the Hoover. And it looks to me very much as if the swarm is being sucked into this box. Well, this is just the best thing I've seen on a Sunday night ever. There we go again. Robbie taking photographs from a sensible distance. I'm pleased to see that you are not risking yourself or anybody else's lives by going too close. Wow. I mean, that's it. That's the end of the stream, Robbie. You've cracked it. How awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. If anybody else would like to send video of bees, cats, pets, dogs, let me know. Epic Hoover, says Haribo. The Henry is peak. Gary, there is a Discord. I think it's... What's the rule for Discord, everybody? Is it patron buddies? It's people who have a Patreon with me, I think. I was thinking about doing YouTube membership could come on the Discord, but quite often people are gifted a membership and they don't even want to be here. They're like, I just came in for a sneak, and then, yeah. So there we go. Tuonen Lintu. Hello, Tuonen. Tuonen, look, this is a Finnish military hat. All the way from Finland. Tuonen Lintu's Finnish. Are you Finnish? I think you are. We talk about it all the time in Moomins. It's an M65 field cap. It could have been made in China for all I know. I got it from the internet. Right. Who's ready to play some fighting fantasy? 13 minutes in. Is that a record? Is that good or bad? Also happy to chat about Deliverance Lost, the Raven Guard, Corax. Yeah. We can talk about whatever Warhammer stuff people would like to talk about this evening. Let me load up the old Steam. Looking forward to Jen popping up. I haven't spoken to Jen for much. Jen's always very kind on the old Instagram. Whenever I post a nice picture, she goes, you look really nice. So I'm like, Jen, come back and validate me. Will says, is anyone familiar with Gun Jesus? Gun Jesus? I don't know him. Because that looks like a hat he owns. Gary finished the new Farsight book, which is awesome. Is that Farsight based on the sci-fi series? The cap would be good for Valhallan Ice Warrior cosplay, says Haribo. Neil says, if you have a chance, check out the 10 minutes of footage from King Fury 2 on YouTube. It's mental. Capri says, is that a relative of Raptor Jesus? I don't know all these Jesuses. Historita Jamalda says, I know Battle Pope, but not Gun Jesus. Also, yes, I have a new, I did an unboxing of late. I can't remember, this is now on my desk. So this is my life now, Mirror Mechanicus manga. So Battle Pope is a comic from the same guy that made Walking Dead. Okay, good to know. Battle Pope is also in Trench Crusade, I'm sure. David Gibb, I only know the little baby Jesus. Same here, David. I know Easter Sunday Zombie Jesus also. Gary says, Tau Commander Farsight. We need to read some Tau books. Is Gun Jesus some kind of redneck YouTube? I'm a Gun Jesus. Right, okay. Let's not blaspheme. Let us play some fighting fantasy. Let me load up Starship Traveller. And let's switch everybody over there. Ooh. So far, no one has died. Our second security officer has pretty much beaten the shit out of every alien we've encountered. We've been cheating like... Did I do a swear? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do a swear. Apologies, everybody. Did the unboxing footage come through from Ian, by the way? It hasn't. Shall I quickly WhatsApp Ian? I'll quickly WhatsApp Ian. Hold on a sec. I think the thing is, we've been talking about this, Jim, and I'm concerned that the footage is lost. Could you send me the Dropbox link to the folder? Cheers, buddy. Cheers, friend. Okay, also, I do not know if this evening, if Jordan's Sorcery is streaming. So we should check that out as well. Let's have a look and see. Oops, mamma mia. If Jordan's Sorcery is streaming, he said he might send his viewers post his show, the Jordan Sorcery show. We also have 9,800 subscribers. So those Night Lord books are becoming more of a prospect. Jordan Sorcery. Jordan Sorcery will also be at UK Games Expo. Are you going live? No, Jordan's next live is scheduled for the 25th. Okay, we won't be reaping the benefits of Uncle Jordan's followers. 'Tis a sad affair. But hey-ho. Jordan is unwell. Oh no, what's happened? What do we know, Aztec? I wonder if I can send him a WhatsApp. That's bad news. What did we hear, people? I don't like it when people get unwell. It really stresses me out. I don't have his number on my phone. Okay. Well, we just have to check on him soon. But I am worrying now. Okay, there's some more Christ chat going on. Always my favourite. Neil says, I have to say, I'm enjoying this game book a lot more than when I first read the OG paperback. Maybe it's been tweaked to make it a little more engaging. Maybe, Neil, we are engaging together. Ian says, okay, I've moved it into its own folder and this is the link to the folder. Let's see. God bless Arbeiter. Arbeiter Ian. Uh-oh. I think there's bad news, people. Is it going to work? You can't see what I'm looking at, but...
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, yes. I'm concerned. Well, everyone who's turned up to the live, how about you get a free little sneak peek of an unboxing? We could do that. Hang on, let me turn off the other sound. Welcome back to Miramanga's Grimdark Buddies YouTube channel. I'm very excited to have my amazing special guest Ian with me, who always helps me with my unboxings.
So we're going to unbox a box.
We are going to unbox a box. The amazing historiator Jamaldus has sent us more items, so I just have to make sure no one ever sees my address.
So you see the unboxings, the way it works is you open things and then I go, that's this.
Yes.
Okay, what's that?
We have a letter. I live despite the efforts of the officio.
It's our latest update from Historica Dromaldus.
I live despite the efforts of the officio assassinorum and the Inquisition. I live for now. I believe it's known as a Calidus, the temple of shape changers. Somehow my handlers knew it had taken the place of our contact at the safe house. Bloody shape changers. They caught it in some kind of energy field and forced it to show its true form. Somehow how beautiful and horrifying at the... Just tried to make it full screen. At the same time. Even facing two Astartes, it nearly managed to prevail. After they drowned it in plasma fire, only this token was left intact. What's that?
I don't know.
It's a little
scully thing.
The Inquisitor was another matter entirely. We barely escaped her ambush, and my Legion friends are sure she's still on our trail. Her loyalties remain unclear. Her main goal seems to be taking some of the more esoteric artifacts we've amassed. If she discovers our connection, I'm truly sorry. My new friends assure me of the secrecy of their courier methods. Again, I entrust you with the items I've been able to source on this perilous escape. Hopefully, by the time this missive reaches you, I'll have reached the promised sanctuary. Though some of the hypocrisies my researchers have revealed have left me unnerved and disillusioned, I'm still loyal to the Imperium. This I swear, and I will not give up my search for the truth. But the cost of lies is too great. Yours faithfully, Historiator Jamaldus.
There we go.
Now that is why ChatGTP will never prevail.
Oh, laughing at my own jokes.
Right, so we also got another smaller envelope.
Yes.
Is it the same thing?
Yes, so in the first envelope,
Oh, it's some Warhammer Dark Galaxy cards.
what
I
is
don't know what that is.
Warhammer Dark Galaxy?
Sure.
Is it like
It's like
a...
it's like a sticker.
Right, there you go. So the very first thing that Jim sent us that we pulled out was completely flummoxing. We didn't know what it was. So as soon as I can, I will edit that together and we'll have an unboxing video to watch. I have to say, I have been completely flat out on Trench Crusade since January. Every evening, most weekends, I've just been taking the time to edit the amazing and epic Trench Crusade, which is going to blow your minds. Absolutely has made me very, very sick mentally in all the best possible ways. But I now have some free time, so outside of doing mum admin, I'm hoping I'll have some time to edit some videos. Thank you so much, Jim. I now have no bookshelf space, so the box that Jim sent me is full of books, and I literally have nowhere else to put another bookshelf, so I'm kind of screwed. But maybe we'll have to start selling some Warhammer books. I don't know. So yeah, that was a little sneak peek for everybody. Buddy Christ, nice to see Dogma's getting a re-release. Yes, I was interested to read about that. Wagon Christ makes some excellent techno-electronic music. Hopefully not the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher. I quite like Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. Maybe it's the backstories we give that makes it more engaging, Neil, says Robbie. Yes, Second Security is here to chew gum and kick ass, and he's all out of gum. Agree, Tony. Aztec says cold or hay fever. Okay, that's good. Did he announce that publicly, Aztec, or are you friends with Uncle Jordan? Haribo says, Gary O'Neill, I must concur on the Buddy Christ subject. Robbie says, very nice, Tony. Little okay hand. Neil says, engage. Gary says, Catholicism, wow. Indeed. Happy new Pope, everybody. Have you two been breathing helium again? No, but what you were seeing was the aftermath of us trying to dress emo and goth. Here's a fun behind the scenes fact. We're having to re-record the Deliverance Lost video. Technical issues, nightmare. So the next time we meet, I think we're going to try and do the next Ghost book, Deliverance Lost, and the Heresy one after that, Dan's book. Can see the emo costumes, all their residue, exactly. Warp delay pedal on the mic, sorry about that. Caprice cheers for Ego, Goss for Corax. I do think Corax is going to be my favourite Primarch. Robbie says, nice one, Jim. Your boxes are always excellent. You should be doing your own games. I think Jim should be doing his own YouTube channel. Robbie says, Trench Crusade is blowing up big time. I know. Can you believe they asked me to work with them? And then it blew up and they're thinking, bloody hell, we could have had any editor we wanted in the industry and we got her. Well, not a lot they can do about it now, but I am doing my best. Haribo, I always manage to flummox ChatGPT by asking it to draw weird historic military adaptation requests. Oh, ChatGPT, the scourge. It is Skynet. We should all be very careful. Aztec, he said he posted on YouTube. Will said, woo, American Pope, I forgot. Eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji. Oh, Will. It's exactly this attitude that's led to where we are now. God bless America. Jim says, no fear. Caprice says, oof, that sucks, but better an Ian one than the author interviews. I think it is better. I hate losing any footage, but can you imagine losing a Black Library author footage and having to go back and re-interview? I would die. Alex Sinclair has retracted a message. Neil says, what if by hiring you, they did get the best editor? I wanted someone to say that. Thank you so much, Neil. Amazing. Okie dokie. Let's get back to our spaceship. Here we go again. I better close that Dropbox and let Ian know it worked. Thank you. It worked. I don't know if you've seen, but Ian is doing some events where you can go and play Blood Bowl with him at a venue in Deptford Way in New Cross area. So that should be a lot of fun for any Londoners. Alex says, hey, let's hold our horses on favourite Primark. You haven't met Sanguinius properly yet. True. The first spotting I have had of Sanguinius, I believe, was in an Eisenhorn book when they went into some catacombs and there was either a stained glass or a mural of a red angel in the sky, but I could be incredibly wrong. Okay. We're back on the stream. Let's show everybody what I'm looking at. Caprice says, spaceship. Tony says, but you're the only editor that will sneak unicorns into Trench Crusade. I have snuck a unicorn into Trench Crusade. Very passive. Just one. It's not an NPC. It's not a playable character. It's not even a mention, but there is a unicorn. Robbie, did we just have a bar brawl last week? Yes, we did. Happy Haribo said Santa Sanguinius. Gary O'Neill said Vulcan. I haven't met Vulcan yet. What if my favourite Primarch is Ferrus Manus? Neil says, Ian's also doing some Badab War events. Wish I could attend one of them. Is there no way, Neil? Can you not make it so? Make it so. Okie dokie. Starting up the ship's engines, you leave the spaceport and head off into deep space. Your crew are becoming anxious about their fate. Well, of course they are. We are the Sunday Night Scary crew. Will they be spending the rest of their lives searching space for a dimension gate which may never appear? Oof, that's how I feel about life. I'm searching space for a dimension gate which may never appear. Anywho, we are called upon, I, the captain, I suppose, but because I, meaning you, because you're making all the choices in this adventure, you are called on to make a statement and reassure them. This is an awful question. Have you learned the time and space coordinates of the black hole, which will hopefully take you back to your own universe? Guys, I don't think we have. If you think we have, can you type yes into the chat? If you think we haven't, please type no. I can see Will's written, oh no, we have failed. Neil says, London's a bit far for me to travel with an army in tow. Tony Holton, second security, anxious, never. Neil says, our crew are suffering from the Sunday Scaries. Robbie says, nope, too busy fighting in bars. Simon says no. Oh no. Oh no. No info in the data bank, says Gary. What a nightmare. What a bloody night. Now, team, a quick speech and you can all have biscuits. How lovely. There are 24 people watching at the moment. Thank you, everybody who's here. If you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe and join in the Mirror Manga fun. I believe I lost 2 subscribers today. Not that I'm counting. I look every day. But yeah, I just need 200 to feel like a real girl. Neil says bookmark and say yes. Sean says, I believe the black hole is to the west. Robbie, we could just make up some coordinates, see where we end up. Tony says time for a rousing speech. Well, oh, no. We're going to put a bookmark in. And we're going to say no. You call your section heads to the briefing room and explain to them the necessity of keeping up the crew's morale. You do not yet have enough information to guide the ship to your escape route, and you must keep searching, but you are confident that you will eventually discover the whereabouts of a suitable black hole. God, imagine that. You know, you get lost in space and you have to end up searching for a fucking... Oh my God, sorry to swear. Crikey, I don't know what's going on. I'm very, very tired and we had a stressful day. So yeah, that's just my nightmare. We're playing my nightmare. Someone did say where the black holes were, but not specifically which one it was. Okay. Your officers try their best with the crew, but morale is low. Oh no. There are reports of 2 suicides. The medical section becomes overloaded with crew suffering from nervous disorders. Your navigation officer contacts you excitedly. Captain, he explains, sensors have picked up a black hole 4.2 light years from here. You decide on an all or nothing course and enter warp drive towards it. It's not a very innovating decision. This is very hardcore. Jim says, sounds like a 40k show. Hello, Dom. Welcome to the chat. Get middle managers to do it, says Tony. That's what we did. Neil says, let's hope it's not the black hole from the Disney movie, which is one of my favourite movies. Haribo says, the coffee machine is working again. Pause for applause. What are the chances, says Robbie. Okay. You drop out of warp drive a safe distance from the black hole. Your science officer works out your optimum course on the ship's computer. As you advance, you can feel the immense gravitational pull of the collapsed star. You allow the ship to be sucked in while the crew strap themselves in. The ship is ripped forward into the void and all personnel pass out. What's going to happen? Let's find out. You will never know whether or not this was the correct black hole. Perhaps it was your angle of entry, or maybe it was your speed, or even the information you have. Whatever the error, the traveller never emerges from the void. Your mission has been unsuccessful, your adventure ends here. Oh my crikey blimey. This ain't good, is it? Doof, 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 says Simon. All our bodies turned inside out. Not again. Oh no. Caprice harsh. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere, says Dom. Harsh doesn't even confirm it was the wrong one, says Caprice. Neil says, Gellerfield's failed and we got eaten by demons. Gary says, sucked into the warp. Tony says, walk out the shower. It was all a dream. Well, why don't we go back to the bookmark and see if we can live? If we believe we have. Let's see. You call all your section heads to the briefing room and announce that you believe you have the space and time coordinates for a likely black hole. If your velocity and timing are right, you ought to be able to pass through this black hole, which may be the Celestian void, and emerge in Earth's universe. You return to the bridge and prepare for the journey, setting off towards your black hole. Subtract your... What? We are never going to win this game. Subtract its time coordinates from its location coordinates and enter the final space-time coordinate that this gives. Oh, they busted our asses. What is the final space-time coordinate? You let me know, chat. I mean, I don't think we should Google and cheat, but I'm going to take what the chat decides to pop in there. Jen, hello. Lovely to see you. Tony says 42. That's a good number. Neil says, check the adventure sheet. That's a good shout. I should have done that before we got this screen up. Cross your fingers. Discover the fate. You set course and arrive at the black hole, dropping out of warp speed some distance from it. Carefully planning your angle of entry and velocity, you head into the dark void. You feel the ship being taken by the immense gravitational force and order all crew to strap themselves in. Suddenly the ship lurches forward and begins to speed up. The G-force is so strong that you, along with the rest of the crew, pass out. You will never know. Okay, we died again. Okay, let's go back here. Then look in our adventure book. Knowledge. Black hole in sector 083. So that is the coordinates. Travel at warp speed 3 to enter black hole. So is that the time? So do we do 83 and 3? Okay, let's find out. 083 minus 3. Cross your fingers. Okay. So, discover the fate of the traveller. You set course, yada yada yada. We pass out. Nope, that wasn't it either. Check mathematics on a Sunday afternoon. Was it on the map we got? I thought it was only basic. Haribo says, did we bookmark it? I can't remember. Neil says, I think we have the space coordinates, but not the time. Dom's saying 46 plus 2. Have you Googled that, Dom? Oh, dear. Well, I think we all have to decide what we're going to do about this. Will, I found the solution and we are not on the right track here. Yeah, thank you. Jen, did we accidentally enter a 90s point and click game without them telling us? Dom says that was a tool reference. Google says it's a bigger number. Well, we cannot continue the adventure from this point. That much is clear. So we have 23 minutes left to play together. There are 29 people in the chat. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna restart the adventure? We're gonna pick a bookmark at random to whiz back to? Are we gonna rely on poor cartographer Neil, who is always doing our maps for us? Robbie, start again. Robbie, start again. More bar brawls. I don't think we should. What do people think about? Neil has a walkthrough. Okay, before we watch Neil's walkthrough, shall we watch the trailer for Murderbot, which I'm very excited about? We could also watch the trailer for Foundation Series 3. Neil probably has the same one that Will has. Okay. What should we do? Let's have a quick look at a wee trailer. I feel very disheartened when we die. Full stop. A Starship Trooper lost in hyperspace. JPC, welcome to the chat. We shall. Let us watch both. YouTube. Oh, people are. It's weird because I'm logging into YouTube to watch this trailer and people are commenting on my YouTube post about Deliverance Lost from earlier. Inception. Trailer Murderbot. Let's embiggen the screen.
or sec unit. I was built to protect and obey humans, and humans are idiots. But now that I've hacked my programming, I can do whatever I want, as long as they don't find out.
Now, let's talk security. We need you to select the sec unit to take on the mission. This is the newest model available.
What's the one behind it?
That's a refurbished model.
Oh, look at that piece of crap. Oh, wait, that's me.
Which one's the least expensive? That one, but you get what you pay for.
True.
Wouldn't be so creepy if it didn't stand.
It'll be okay.
I didn't know that's a face.
Yeah, it's kind of a sweet face.
Stop staring at me.
I wasn't. Stop staring at me.
I have been noticing some anomalies with the sec unit.
Uh-oh.
And when I plugged into its system, the unit was already rogue.
It calls itself Murderbot.
House private. It's a killing machine.
Murderbot?
Can you stop calling it murderbot? It's terrifying.
No, I mean, that's what it calls itself, so I am just being respectful.
Do you think we can trust you?
It seems like it's going through something. Eye contact.
You could have killed me!
There was a chance, yes. But everything turned out fine.
Yay! I'm a big fan of when I get to read for pleasure, when I'm not having to read a billion Warhammer novels. I absolutely love the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. Wells in the name, right? Really, really, really highly recommend all those books. The sheer number of fail conditions in these books. I know. Sorry, we're talking about the adventure now. Okay, let me catch up with the chat. So we have a walkthrough for the game. Could we just not leave the bar and happily have our drinks and talk about a voyage instead? Neil says, I fell in love with a Starship Trooper. Jen says, surely a more appropriate name for it would be a fly-through. David Gibbs says, you should watch the Iron Brew Unicorn Tears advert. We will. Dom says, I say take the L and move on to the next one. Sean says, Murderbot looks great. Robbie says, we might not have died. We might get spat out of the warp in 1,000 years, horribly disfigured. Oh, that would be our luck. Neil, a flashing light in hyperspace? Neil says about the trailer, David Dalsmakian. He's always great in everything. Robbie, I've listened to this. Neil, anyone here watched or read Altered Carbon? Yes, read and watched both. Very brutal, lots of torture, fun. Twain and Lintu, that seems fun. Haribo says, I've watched that. Robbie says, Altered Carbon, live action or anime? Will says Altered Carbon would be a nice RPG setting. I agree. An Alexander Skarsgård thing where he gets to keep his shirt on. I know, pointless casting, Jen. Neil, I really enjoyed season 1 of the live action Altered Carbon. Dropped season 2 as I wasn't enjoying it so much. It got really just torture porny. David gave up after this first episode of season 2 of Altered Carbon. Okay, let's find this Iron Brew advert. Iron Brew Unicorn Tears.
Your dad's at the
It's already had 58,000 views. It's looking good.
Your dad's at the glue factory. My name's Kelly, and I'm a unicorn tear farmer for Iron Brew Extra's new legendary flavours. We practice traditional techniques here to get the tears flowing. There's your classic slagging. You're just a trumped-up horse with a horn. No one believes in you, and your teeth are massive. But we also collect tears of joy here. You could do a shampoo ad with that. Everyone wants to ride you. Your horn's looking big. And when all else fails, we bring out the tearjerkers. Titanic. Classic. That's it, Jack. Down you go. No room for you.
I love how the unicorn tears is still
Delicious.
orange.
Tastes like rainbows and joy. We Stardust is one of our best at greeting. Get it out, you big pink donkey.
Okay. Oh, sorry, this is one of my other favourite views. Outdoor Boys, can highly recommend. I don't know how I feel very conflicted about that lady being mean to a unicorn. Neil says, that's Trench Crusade. Jim says, very brutal, lots of torture, fun. Mira, a soon-to-be Night Lords fan.
I think Altered Carbon Universe and the plots were fun. I don't think the torture was fun. In a book, you can just flick through quickly and just skim read it, like. But on the telly, yes, it wasn't very nice. Dalm says, Altered Carbon books are awesome. If you like it, you might like Only Forward by Michael Marshall Smith or Neil Asher's Polity novels. Okay, so I think we're thinking a win for Murderbot. We're thinking we want to taste the Iron Brew, but we don't approve of the unicorn being yelled at. So let's watch the Foundation 3 trailer and then we'll go back to our normal programming, whatever that may be. I have to admit, full on Lee Pace fan. Big part of the draw for me is that. Okay, here we go.
Nothing will ever be the same again.
July. There's my boy.
World.
We love a space
Is
opera.
upon us. And at the center of it is the mule. He will destroy everything. I see something I like. I take it.
Kiss the boy, gentlemen. It's worse than the one.
If we fail, humanity will be lost forever. We act or we lose.
Cool armor. In a world where Harry Seldon has told us everything that will happen. This is so long to wait. The 11th of July. What the heck, Apple? Come on. Yes. Big fan of Asimov. Love the Foundation books.
Well, if I had $1 for every time I had to fight off
Sorry, let me turn off
assassins
that.
while naked, I'd be the rich.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. All the characters are named the same. Some plot lines are the same. A lot of it is very different. Poor Harry got killed so many times in season 2. So much torture. Also, the mule, even in the books, is a massively overpowered villain. It's going to be really hard to get a good balance. And I really don't like those books where... The books in series where it's like a 12 episode series and 11 episodes are just the heroes going through complete disaster, nightmare, loss. So we'll keep our minds open, but even in the books I hated the mule. Yeah, there was not much action going on, just a lot of maths, space maths. Neil, give the first season a watch if you've got Apple, why not? Jen says, between Skaven Tide and Fallen Angels, I seem to have read slightly too much Warhammer body horror recently. Fallen Angels, is that a book outside of the heresy? It's Space Jesus, says Robbie. Kind of. Jen, I liked him in The Hobbit. I know, controversial opinion. I don't remember what he was in The Hobbit. Was he an elf? Robbie says, I don't know any of these, no Apple TV. Robbie says, it will be here in a flash in July. Did anybody see that Neil's been painting elves? Pink elves, I think, wood elves on his channel. So a win for the elves. Neil says, I'm currently rewatching Game of Thrones for the first time since it finished, middle of season 3 after a week. Never have watched Game of Thrones, far too violent and full of torture for me. I read the first book and was completely flabbergasted when they killed Ned Stark. And there's a lot of really tome-like fantasy novels. The Wheel of Time is one, for instance, where a big part of the plot is this
unending agony, torture, loss, you know, killings, murders. And for me, it's just like, ugh, it's such an ick. I really have to force myself to drag myself through it. At least in the Heresy, you know, the Primarchs are going to survive. Well, apart from Ferrus Manus and the missing ones and that. But anyway, lower stakes, please. Lower stakes. That's Heresy. It's the one where Luther is on Caliban being moody. Caprice, Space Elf Glory. Tony, I like the For All Mankind series. Yes, that was an interesting one, Tony. Jen, he was Legolas's dad in The Hobbit, which is kind of hilarious because Orlando Bloom is older. Babyface Bloom. Sean Bean dies in a movie / series. Never. Will says, Asimov was a chemist and the Foundation series really highlights that. The destination is easier to figure out than the path that leads to it. Well, we love a scientist. Will, have you got a science fact for us today? Dom, spoiler alert, the Primark store doesn't survive. Don't say that. Everyone would be devoed. We've had a rough time in the UK. Were we to lose the Primark shops? It's bad enough. Is anyone else freaking out that Tesco, Co-op, M&S have all been hacked? I went into Tesco in Soho and they would only let you buy something if you had a card and you put your PIN number in. End times. Gary says, have you started to build a 40k army yet? I haven't, Gary. I'm wondering if my first army game will be Heresy and not 40k. If I am to pick up a Legion, I'm really thinking about it will either be Raven Guard, maybe Alpha Legion, even though I hate them, maybe Tau or Eldar. Surely Heresy or Legion Imperially. Not Prada Mark, says David. Primani. New edition may be out this week. What new edition? Is there a new... What? I don't know this stuff. I'm not a law person. I have no facts. It's the end of semester. I have no facts, only raw nerves. What's this? New edition Heresy. Oh. I can see lots of people on the internet saying there's new Heresy going on. But I don't see anything from Arbeiter Ian, so I can't really comment. Revealed this week, maybe they're not going to release at this short notice. Tony says, Tau, you'll have to play 40k. Dom says, let the big stores be hacked. A win for small businesses, surely. No, it's scary. No businesses should be hacked. It's scary. It means the criminals are going to smash through the firewalls and destroy society. Has none of you watched Superman 3 with Richard Pryor, where they create a supercomputer and the green man and the red man at the traffic light start fighting? You should take heed. Jim says, Games Workshop did a teaser only. Capri says, Legion Imperialis, you get teeny tiny titans as well as all the small marines. That's very tempting. Tuonan says, Heresy's a better game. Also, loan an army from a friend to start with. I shall steal Ian's army. Games Workshop have a Horus Heresy website as a troll type advertisement. What? A Horus hearsay. Dom, as someone who works for a cybersecurity company, any hack ransomware is bad news. Amen. Neil, come and secure my everything. I'm so scared. I mean, if they can get into Tesco, Co-op, M&S, does that mean they're all using the same software? Or does that mean they've invented a new hack? And if they have, what does that mean for Halifax, Lloyds, Santander? Is the call coming from inside the house? I don't know. Conspiracy theories, please drop them in the chat. Will says, playing Tau in 30k would be hilarious. Only melee. I don't know enough about the game, but I'll make sure I endeavour not to. My nose has gone really itchy. I don't know why. Sorry, everybody. Itchy nose. Okay, that's enough. We've talked till 20:55. What's melee? Melee. Melee, melee. Melee is when you are smashing each other over the head with hammers, axes, swords, stabbing with daggers. That's a melee. When you're punching, you're picking up a frying pan and bonking someone on the head. That is a melee. And melee attacks have very different rules to range attacks, which is when you're very far away, firing a gun, a las cannon, or even a catapult, or a trebuchet. Very, very different to the rules where you just park your spaceship over a planet and blow it up all in one. It's a Tau joke, Mira. I said it's probably a joke I don't get, but tell me about the joke. Neil says, it's generally known that the stores were targeted by phishing attacks. Imagine if you were that member of staff. Would you still have a job? Would you be crying? I would cry my eyes out. The phishing attacks granted the hackers inside access to the company systems and data. Oh, sugar. We will have to revert to barter to get our membership. If it all breaks down, I offer a chicken. I offer a bedtime meditation based on Warhammer novels. Jen says, if Age of Empires has taught me anything, you can melee buildings into dust with swords. Good to know. Jim says, they targeted the fishmonger sections. Very good, Jim. Lol, fishing. The Tau in 30k are cave people. Tau are bad at close range attacks. Thank you for explaining the joke. Dom, it was probably those Royal Mail managers that did it. But what if someone at Halifax opens a blinking phishing email? Aren't we worried about that? Hopefully the phishing email wasn't a coupon to a competing store, says Sean. That'd be rotten. Haribo says, Tau are bug on social distancing. They stick to ranged weapons and they hate melee. Thank you for letting me know, people. Right, in the dying embers of our time together, what are we going to do? Are we going to do a speed run / walkthrough of this fighting fantasy book, Starship Traveller? What do we think? Let's throw some ideas in the chat. So we could go on to the next book. We can do a walkthrough. We can kind of go back to previous bookmarks and see what we want to do. What do you want to do? As you are the people who are very kindly dropping me the memberships and little monetized thanks. You guys are my boss. Please be good. And I have immunity now, right? I'm out of probation, we hope. Speedrun next time sounds fun. Haribo says southwest. Robbie says yes, please, walkthrough. Will says, I had my own IT department send a phishing email. It was infuriating. Speedrun, says Haribo. Dom says next book. Robbie, I would like to see what happens. I would like to see what happens too. I'd like to get home and have a reunion with my family. Will says next book. Alex says, I vote speedrun. Jamalda says, first videos in reaction playlist are shorts. Okay, so maybe we need to do a reaction evening. Tuonin says speedrun. Tony says walk run. David says speedrun. Gary O'Neill says next book. I think it looks like the speedruns have it. We'll do a speedrun. We'll try and do a quick one. I know I can take forever. I'm really happy that my hair's decided to do this. I blame David Lynch from Beyond the Grave. I wonder where that No Effects book is now before we all go. What was it called? Something like Hepatitis Bathtub or something like this? I'm reluctant to stand up as I have got funny PE shorts on. So I don't want you to see that. I shan't allow it. What can I say? Failed you all. Anyway, hopefully everybody is in a good place. We've had 27 people watching. We've had some amazing memberships gifted by the wonderful Neil, who is the backbone of all that we do. Let's face it. We haven't had a poem. We haven't had a bloody poem, people. Where is my poetry book? Right. Here we go. Oh, look at my face. Massive. Sorry about massive face. So we could have something from the Tower of Pooh. Or we can have one from the orange, which I'm only reading as we read it together. We could have one from each, maybe. What do people want? The orange or Pooh? Pooh with an H. My favourite NoFX album is Heavy Petting Zoo, Punk in Drublic, a close second. What is my favourite NoFX album? Supports my head, gives me something to believe. Probably Linoleum, Punk in Drublic. One of my favourite NoFX songs is Longest Line. At the end of the longest line, that's where I will always be if you need to find me. Hard Relate. Oh yeah, I was name dropping, wasn't I? Two of my favourite bands, which I've watched from the side of the stage, are Tenacious D, because I met Jack Black once and he said I look like Sarah Silverman, because I know Jack Black through my Bad Religion friends, and the other one, which I watched from the side of the stage many times, Guns N' Roses live, especially when they play Live and Let Die and there's pyrotechnics. So, looks like Tower of Pooh this evening. Those who wish to stay afterwards can stick around to hear a poem from the orange as well. So, I'm going to read The How of Pooh. Okay. How can we do this? You see, Pooh, I said, a lot of people don't seem to know what Taoism is. Yes, said Pooh, blinking his eyes. So that's what this chapter is for, to explain things a bit. Oh, I see, said Pooh. And the easiest way to do that would be for us to go to China for a moment. What? Said Pooh, his eyes wide open in amazement. Right now? Of course. All we need to do is lean back, relax, and there we are. Oh, I see, said Pooh. Let's imagine that we've walked down a narrow street in a large Chinese city and have found a small shop that sells scrolls painted in the classic manner. We go inside and ask to be shown something allegorical, something humorous perhaps, but with some sort of timeless meaning. Capital letters, timeless meaning. Here we go. The shopkeeper smiles. I have just the thing, he tells us, a copy of the Vinegar Tasters. He leads us to a large table and unrolls the scroll, placing it down for us to examine even. Excuse me, I must attend to something for a moment, he says, and goes into the back of the shop, leaving us alone with the painting. I love this story. Although we can see that this is a fairly recent version, we know that the original was painted long ago. When is uncertain, but by now the theme of the painting is well known. We see three men standing around a vat of vinegar. Each has dipped his finger into the vinegar and has tasted it. The expression on each man's face shows his individual reaction. Since the painting is allegorical, we are to understand that these are no ordinary vinegar tasters, but are instead representatives of the three teachings of China, and that the vinegar they're sampling represents the essence of life. Ooh! The three masters are Kung Fu Tse, Confucius, Buddha, and Lao Tzu, author of the oldest existing book of Taoism. I'm sorry if I'm butchering pronunciation. The first has a sour look on his face, the second wears a bitter expression, but the third man is smiling. To Kung Fu Tse, I'm being told it's pronounced, life seemed rather sour. He believed the present was out of step with the past, and that the government of man on earth was out of harmony with the way of heaven, capital letters, the government of the universe. Therefore, he emphasized reverence for the ancestors, as well as for ancient rituals and ceremonies in which the emperor, as the son of heaven, acted as intermediary between limitless heaven and limited earth. Under Confucianism, the use of precisely measured court music, prescribed steps, actions and phrases all added up to an extremely complex system of rituals, each used for a particular purpose at a particular time. A saying was recorded about Kung Fu Tse, I think it should be said. If the mat was not straight, the master would not sit. This ought to give an indication of the extent to which things were carried out under Confucianism. To Buddha, The second figure in the painting, life on Earth was bitter, filled with attachments and desires that led to suffering. Don't we know that? The world was seen as a setter of traps, a generator of illusions, a revolving wheel of pain for all creatures. In order to find peace, the Buddhists considered it necessary to transcend the world of dust and reach nirvana, literally a state of no wind. Although the essentially optimistic attitude of the Chinese altered Buddhism considerably after it was brought from its native India, the devout Buddhist often saw the way to nirvana interrupted all the same by the bitter wind of everyday existence. I always am interrupted by the bitter wind of everyday existence. To Lao Tzu, the harmony that naturally existed between heaven and earth from the very beginning could be found by anyone at any time, but not by following the rules of the Confucians. As he stated in his Tao Te Ching, Tao De Jing, the Tao Virtue book, earth was in essence a reflection of heaven run by the same laws, not by the laws of men. These laws affected not only the spinning of distant planets, but the activities of the birds in the forest and the fish in the sea. According to Lao Tzu, the more man interfered with the natural balance produced and governed by the universal laws, the further away the harmony retreated into the distance. The more forcing, the more trouble. Whether heavy or light, wet or dry, fast or slow, everything had its own nature already within it, which could not be violated without causing difficulties. When abstract and arbitrary rules were imposed from the outside, struggle was inevitable. Only then did life become sour. So there is our little Tao of Pooh. Historistic Gemaldus, I heard the Tao are Pooh. Lol, Warhammer book. Thank you, Aztec. Lots of love and goodbye. Leave It Alone is a classic, no effects. My daughter keeps telling me I look like Jack Black. Newsflash, Will, you do. Orange, says Aztec. Taste vinegar. The Goldilocks plot origin is deeper than I expected, says Sean. Lol. Tony says the world is full of traps. Red hot keys, as we found out. We bloody did. Sorry, I've done 3 swears in this chat. I do apologise. Caprice. Oh, gods, those keys. Sunju, bring me chips and salt. Right. We will now have a poem from the Orange and then it's bedtime. Okay, what have we read so far? Flowers. Flowers is the next poem. Oh, come on, Wendy. Flowers by Wendy Cope from the book Orange. Some men never think of it. You did. You'd come along and say you'd nearly bought me flowers, but something had gone wrong. The shop was closed, or you had doubts. The sort that minds like ours dream up incessantly. You thought, I might not want your flowers. It made me smile and hug you then. But I can only smile. But look, the flowers you nearly bought have lasted all this while. Thank you so much. Good night, Robbie. Nanites, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for sharing your bee video. That was majestic. Sean, good night. Caprice, good night. Thanks everybody so much for hanging around. And it looks like we're doing a speed run through next week, so we'll see everybody then. But I hope that the Sunday Scaries leave you alone and you all have a fabulous week. And let's all give our best healing vibes and good wishes to Uncle Jordan Sorcery. And yeah, see you all next time. Good night. Bye, Jen. Bye, Neil. Take care of yourself. Thanks for everything. Good night, Gary. Okay. Just like the 70s TV closed down, final thought. Sean, the Orange poem was relatable. The Orange poem was relatable. Sean, I want you to go back to bed and get some more sleep before you have to get up, if possible. And give your cat a noogie from me. Bye, Tony Lintu. Good night, Mark Hayward. Lovely to have you with us. Bye, Gary. Neil, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Appreciate it. Sleep well, Haribo. Bye.